Biden administration helping CCP by restricting domestic mining. Minnesota senator says, man, I mean, Biden is hands down the most corrupt president the United States has ever had. He is systematically destroying everything about this country. He's giving away our sovereignty, giving away our tax-paid money, giving away our secrets to the CCP, and just allowing them to run all over us. I mean, this guy's despicable. And hopefully in 2024 we get rid of this guy and his corrupt administration. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. A Minnesota state senator says that the Biden administration's restrictive stance towards domestic mining projects is making the U.S. dependent on the Chinese Communist Party. Quote, "We need to change the narrative on mining in this country," says Senator Tom Back in an appearance before the House Ways and Means Committee on July 10th. Quote, "It's contrary to our own objectives." Mr. Back testified during a field hearing in Kimball, Minnesota. He said Northeast Minnesota has the largest deposits of copper, cobalt, nickel, platinum group metals, and other products the renewable energy industry needs. And I had no idea this. And Mr. Back said the United States could be a net exporter of these items. The CCP's July 3rd announcement of new state controls that restrict exports of germanium and gallium elements used in producing high-performance computer chips shows it is willing to disrupt supply chains, he said, and that's per the Epic Times. But he goes on to say, it's bad for Minnesota, it's bad for the country. Frankly, I think it's bad for the world. He also added that Biden administration has severely hobbled mining in the United States, leaving China with the monopoly. Again, y'all know I believe this is by design. Xi Jinping, China's president, is really running this country and telling Biden what to do. And this is exactly why when we have all these policies where we're scratching our head and wondering, why are we doing this to our country? Who benefits from this? If you look at everything that he's doing, China benefits from it, not the United States. It's urgent that we stop putting up roadblocks to domestic mineral production because our ability to avoid devastating supply chain disruptions and build a greener future depends on it, he said, referring to the Duluth complex in the northeast tip of the state near Lake Superior. Back said that mining has been a significant industry in the area for 140 years and that it could be once again with the growing interest in green technology as the rich deposits could not only be used for domestic needs but exported to other countries. And mind you, the Biden administration is feigning this green stuff when we really know it's about control, but when it comes to stuff that is actually better for the environment, and it comes from our country, it comes from the United States, Biden wants nothing to do with it. He wants to shut it down. But he goes on to say that deposit would have supported several generations of miners, said Beck, adding that the U.S. seems to be divided on its support for green energy. On one hand, President Joe Biden told American auto workers last September that they would be building electric cars. Quote, companies have announced new investments of more than $36 billion in electric vehicles and $48 billion in batteries manufacturing in the United States, said Biden. But for that to happen, the Biden administration needs to allow domestic mining of raw materials. And quote, it's a fact of life. If you don't get the minerals, you won't be able to complete them, said Back. But that's the thing. He really do not want America to be mining these raw materials because it would make us less reliant on China. But mining had yet to take place on the site to that point. And in 2018, the Trump administration reversed the decision and renewed the leases. And in January 2022, the Interior Department determined that the Trump decision violated the law and did not consider the U.S. Forestry Service's consent authority and failed to consider all possible environmental impacts. Not only were the leases canceled, but all mining operations in the forest were prohibited, and this includes any studies related to mining. And according to Mr. Back, this will cause the kind of environmental damage the lease opponents want to prevent. At the same time, it will make the United States more vulnerable to the CCP. He said important products will have an added environmental impact. Quote, consider the greenhouse gas emissions associated with important metals, he said. And Mr. Back said that the best way for America to address climate change, if you believe in that, is with its raw materials. Quote, this data is clear. We need to mine these minerals, and we're going to successfully combat the negative effects of climate change, he said. Again, if you believe in that, y'all know where I stand on that. And committee member Rep. Pete Stauber, he's also from Minnesota, agreed with Mr. Back. He expressed concern over China's willingness to engage in trade wars with the United States and the rest of the world. He said the United States is squandering an opportunity to become more prominent internationally and to solidify its relations with other countries. Quote, China has a long history of engaging in trade wars with the United States and other countries, and the world is increasingly dependent on critical minerals. We have an incredible opportunity to export these minerals to allies and partners around the globe, lessening the grip of countries like China and global supply chains, Mr. Stauber said. Again, that is not what the Biden administration want, because that is not what Mr. Xi Jinping want, and Xi Jinping gets what he wants from Biden and his administration. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.